Take your conversations to the back, off the floor. For what purpose does the gentlewoman... Order, please. For what purpose does the gentlewoman from Florida, Mrs. Lona, seek recognition?
You can elect people who are willing to work for Americans, or you can elect Republicans who are so prone to chaos and dysfunction that they'll even go at each other if it means that they can create some mayhem. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert fighting on the House floor. According to reporting from the Daily Beast, the fight arose when Lauren Boebert decided to force a vote on an impeachment resolution against Joe Biden, thereby undercutting Marjorie Taylor Greene, who has also offered up an impeachment resolution, albeit without the procedural tool that would have forced that vote on the House floor. Now, during the argument, Greene proceeded to call Lauren Boebert a little bitch, a name that Greene herself confirmed when asked by a reporter. Greene continued, quote, "I've donated to you, I've defended you, but you've been nothing but a little bitch to me. And you copied my articles of impeachment after I asked you to co-sponsor them." From there, Boebert said, "Okay, Marjorie, we're through," to which Greene responded, "We were never together." Don't mind me. The Daily Beast then reached out to both Boebert and Greene for comment, neither of whom denied the exchange. Boebert said, quote, "Marjorie is not my enemy. I came here to protect our children and their posterity. Joe Biden and the Democrats are destroying our country. My priorities are to correct their bad policies and save America," which was only slightly more disciplined than Greene's response, where she said, quote, "Imitation is the greatest form of flattery," which was a nod to the argument that Boebert was trying to copy her efforts to impeach Biden. She continued, quote, "Lauren Boebert never addressed the conference. I made it clear to the conference that I have introduced articles of impeachment literally since Joe Biden's first day in office. I have been talking about it with everybody forever. Literally everyone forever till I'm blue in the face. You see me? I'm blue in the face. Because nothing drives home the point that you should be taken seriously, quite like demanding reporters recognize that you are not getting enough oxygen to the brain." And if you needed any indication as to how misguided this effort was, even Republican leadership positioned itself against the campaign, with McCarthy urging his conference to reject the effort. Even Byron Donalds, a House Freedom Caucus member, came out against it, telling the Daily Beast, "We do have a process of doing things. Impeachment is at such a high level that you know there should be some process for that." Yeah, a process, like, for example, waiting for a president to extort a foreign country for dirt on a political opponent, or, I don't know, inciting an insurrection at the U.S. Capitol to pressure the vice president into anointing the loser of the election the winner. Oh, sorry, maybe that's not what he meant. Yeah, my bad. Now, as far as Boebert and Greene are concerned, I'm not here to take sides because this is like choosing between whether I'd want my morning cereal laced with arsenic or cyanide, but here are my thoughts. First of all, an argument over which one gets to introduce a doomed impeachment resolution is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. It will go nowhere, it is baseless, it serves as a reminder that the GOP is composed of woefully unserious people. But of course, the reason they each want to be the first is twofold. First, they want to use it to promote their brands because at the end of the day, why else would Republicans get jobs intended to serve Americans when they can leverage those jobs to serve themselves? And second, fundraising. Whoever gets this resolution on the floor first can then exploit that in an email pitch to supporters, saying, "I stood up for you and introduced articles of impeachment against the corrupt, evil Marxist Joe Biden. Help me continue to hold him accountable by donating to my campaign today," knowing full well that the impeachment resolution will go absolutely nowhere, but it's not about getting anything done, it's about selling a narrative to the marks. So long as Greene and Boebert can squeeze money out of the suckers on their mailing lists, then they'll have accomplished their goal in government. Again, it was never about helping others, it is solely about helping themselves. I'd argue too that literally none of what Boebert and Greene are doing is helping anyone else but themselves. The rest of the GOP very clearly knows that this will go nowhere and is based on nothing. And so what it does, in effect, is cheapen the whole process. Once it becomes clear that impeachment for Republicans is about boosting fundraising numbers at the end of the quarter, then they're sending a message to their supporters that they are wholly unwilling to use it for its actual purpose. So good luck to any other Republicans who may be angling to introduce articles of impeachment against Joe Biden, because at this point, like everything else the GOP touches, it is clear that any effort to do so is nothing more than a naked cash grab for themselves. And of course, it goes without saying, but if Republicans actually cared about the sanctity of the presidency as much as their dueling impeachment resolutions would suggest, they might find even the slightest bit of fault with what Donald Trump did when he was president. They might take issue with the fact that he dangled military assistance to Ukraine above their heads as they were contending with imminent threats from Russia until he could get some dirt on Joe Biden. They might take issue with the fact that the President of the United States couldn't emotionally handle losing an election, and so he threw a temper tantrum in the form of an insurrection at his urging. But no, of course, Boebert and Greene don't find any issue with those things. In fact, not only were they fine with those things, not only did they vote against both of those impeachments, not only do they continue to support the guy, but they were literally involved. When Cassidy Hutchinson testified in front of the January 6th committee, she revealed that both Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene were involved in meetings to figure out how they could manipulate the Electoral College vote to proclaim Trump the winner. I mean, hell, Greene herself posted a video of her leaving one of those meetings on social media.
Just finished with our meetings here at the White House this afternoon. We had a great planning session for our January 6th objection. We aren't going to let this election be stolen by Joe Biden and the Democrats. President Trump won by a landslide. Call your House reps, call your senators from your states. We've got to make sure they're on board, and we already have a lot of people engaged. Okay, stay tuned.
So I'm pretty sure that when it comes to impeachments, both Greene and Boebert used all of their political capital when they quite literally assisted Trump in committing impeachable offenses himself. And by the way, this isn't the first time that these Greene-Boebert fights have spilled out into the public. Here's Boebert taking a thinly veiled swipe at Greene back in December.
Someone who we all respect, Marjorie Taylor Greene, says Kevin McCarthy is going to be a great speaker.
I guess you'll have to ask Marjorie about that. I'm a fan of hers. I'm an admirer, but it's not something we see the same way.
Lauren?
Well, you know, I've been aligned with Marjorie and accused of believing a lot of the things that she believes in. I don't believe in this, just like I don't believe in Russian space lasers.
Are you a hard no?
Space lasers okay. And all of this. No, I'm just saying we need to actually have an inside conversation and make sure that these promises are there.
And then Greene, who saw this clip, then took to Twitter to write, "I've supported and donated to Lauren Boebert. President Trump has supported and donated to Lauren Boebert. Kevin McCarthy has supported and donated to Lauren Boebert. She just barely came through by 500 votes. She gladly takes our money, but when she's been asked, Lauren Boebert refuses to endorse President Trump. She refuses to support Kevin McCarthy, and she childishly threw me under the bus for a cheap soundbite. The country is facing extremely difficult times. Americans expect conservative fighters like us to work together to save America, and that is the only mission I'm 100% devoted to, not high school drama and media soundbites." From there, Boebert responded back to Greene in an interview with the Daily Caller, saying, "I've been asked to explain Marjorie Taylor Greene's belief in Jewish space lasers, why she showed up to a white supremacist conference, and now why she's blindly following Kevin McCarthy, and I'm not going to go there. The only person who can answer for Marjorie's words and actions is Marjorie." Sorry. So look, will Joe Biden be impeached? No. I wouldn't worry about that for a single second. But I would argue that both Boebert and Greene are actually hurting themselves a hell of a lot more than they could ever hurt Joe Biden. As far as Boebert is concerned, let's not forget, she won her last election by 0.16%. That's just over 500 votes. And look, I'm no political consultant, and certainly not in the business of strategizing on behalf of Republicans, but I'm thinking that if you eke out a win in one of the closest races in the country, even though you are running in an R+9 district, then maybe the whole loudmouth lunatic extremist thing might not be the smartest tactic. Just, you know, for starters. And with regard to Greene, I've said it before and I'll say it again, if she thinks that she's helping her party with antics like this, she is kidding herself. Marjorie Taylor Greene wants attention so badly that she actually succeeded in making herself the face of that party, a move that Kevin McCarthy allowed her to do in his desperation to become speaker. But in doing so, she made that party completely unpalatable to the rest of the country. The notion that Republicans are in any way responsible or moderate or serious went out the window the moment they anointed someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene their mouthpiece. So it might seem counterintuitive to give her the attention that she so desperately craves, but if it means more people can be exposed to who they're actually empowering when they vote for Republicans, then so be it. Greene might rake in some fundraising cash from her little northern Georgia district, but she is one of the Democrats' best weapons in the rest of the country that isn't looking to embolden a QAnon conspiracy theorist Looney Tune. So look, while I'm beyond certain that these impeachment efforts are nothing more than a joke, I'm not going to pretend that it's not entertaining watching two crazies in the GOP go at each other to remake the party in their image, all the while completely blind to the fact that both of them are why the Republican Party is losing in the first place. Meaning that whoever wins out there, whether it's Marjorie Taylor Greene or Lauren Boebert, at the end of the day, it's the GOP that's going to lose. Before you go, I need some help. please subscribe to this channel and do your part to help grow the progressive media ecosystem. I don't do sponsorships or paid ads, I won't ask for money, but just subscribing to this channel goes a really long way, and it helps get the message out to more people. The subscribe button is right here on the screen. You can also subscribe to my Spanish language channel, which I made to reach those crucial Spanish-speaking voters. That link is on the screen too. And finally, if you want to listen to my audio podcast, you can follow that link as well. Thanks so much for watching.